Welcome back, and it's so nice chatting to you again. And it's another Talking Technical show, and we've got plenty loyal viewers, and they always drop us an email, or they even WhatsApp us, and they even tweet us some requests. But before I want to kickstart today's show, I would like to mention something. I see nowadays that there's just so many experts around showing charts, and they just showing continuation, and everything is just so rosy, and every stock is just going up. And the other day someone said it's the time in the market that counts, and it's not the timing in the market. What they don't say is that we're actually sitting with a completely manipulated market, which is flooded with just liquidity. And there's very little fundamentals backing it. And then it's so easy to show charts and say, oh, it's a continuation pattern, reverse channel. I've been through this. I've seen this in the 80s. You get to a point where every stock just looks so rosy. Everything looks like it wants to go up. And you just buy, and you just know that it's going to go up. I just saw that the DAX in a few months went up 57%. And did you see that economy? There's nothing happening. So everything is stimulus, everything is liquidity. Be careful, this market is a dangerous market. But let's kick off. Let's look at Durban per deep. A friend of mine, old Martin, is looking at this chart, and he is now one of those investors that's despondent with this chart, because he says to me, Frans, I bought the stock close to 19 Rand. Now, if you look at this chart, this is a tweezer top formation. I don't know why I bought it then, but I believe that he thought that it's going to go up. But now suddenly, look where's Durban per deep now. It dropped all the way down to 13 Rand 66, and that's where it is now. So that doesn't look like a healthy chart to me. And if you look at the trend is clearly to the downside. It just shows you that Durban per deep is actually struggling. So, Martin, I will actually say, be careful, because we don't know what's going to happen here. The only positive that I've got is that you've got this low, and you've got maybe a higher low, and let's see where it can break. Because I think that's the important thing. He would like to know where the stock will break. I think he wants to buy some more, if I'm not mistaken. But let's have a look here. There you are. Just want to draw it in there. There you are. There is a falling wedge developing, and remember, gold is being hammered. I see it's now below $1,700, and the world is just printing money. So eventually it will get to a point where something is going to turn around and maybe give gold a little bit of a boost. And on the other hand, maybe the rand can also surprise us and weaken a little bit above 15 Rand. So, Martin, if I look at this chart, I will not buy it at the moment. I will see this falling wedge as a positive formation. I'll be positive on it, but then it needs to go above the high of this little candle. And that will be above, there you are, 14 Rand and 14 cents. Only above 14 Rand and 14 cents, this formation will come into play, and it can take it up all the way to the top of that resistance. That will be at 16 Rand and 8 cents. But if you want to buy it there above 14.14, I will use this as my stop loss, and my stop loss will be 13 Rand and 35 cents. Well, let's have a look at Renergen. Basil also asked about Renergen, and he's quite interesting in the stock. And let's have a look. This is now that company that everybody wrote off, and then they found this wonderful deposit in the Free State. But let's have a look. Basil, unfortunately, I must say to you, I think you may be a little bit to buy here, because if you look at this stock, look what happened there. There you've got a, let's just put it up. You've got a beautiful base here. That's a few months back. And then suddenly the stock catch fire. That's above 14 Rand. And it rallies all the way in a matter of a few months. I mean, that's from January till now. It rallies from 14 Rand to 32 Rand in a few weeks, you can almost say. That's a massive rally. What do we see here? We see, first of all, a Lampel formation. That's usually for me a formation just to tell me that stock just rallied so fast and so quickly that it can easily pull back. But I mean the signal here that I'm looking at, because there's actually two options here. The one is, what does short-term traders think, and what does medium to long-term traders think? Medium to long-term traders will say the momentum is beautifully to the up, nothing can go wrong, and you will probably only get worried when this sort of resistance, support turns into a resistance, and that's at 20 Rand and 81 cents. I mean, that's 9 Rand from here. But what I see it out of a short-term point of view, look at this tweezer top. And this tweezer top tells me that there's some sellers around 31 Rand 17 cents. They're nervous about it. So for me, the stock must get above 31.38. That's the high of that little shadow to give us some more momentum to the top. But if it pulls back and this tweezer top makes other investors nervous, we can easily close this gap. There you are. There's a gap. That gap is between 28 Rand and 26 Rand 22 cents. So this gap can easily close, and while we're looking at gaps, look what we see here. If I zoom it out a little bit, there's a little gap as well between 19.27 and 18 Rand and 80 cents. And there's another tiny gap there. Let's see, maybe let's give that level as well. Maybe it can go there as well, 17.78 and 17.50. So I'm a little bit nervous on Renergen Basel. It had a beautiful rally. I mean, from let's call it 20 Rand to 32 Rand in a matter of a few weeks is a massive rally, and it just shows you that when stocks, especially stocks with exploration abilities, if they find the right thing, and people love that, this stock can surprise you to the up. And this is what happened here. Everybody just liked the stock. Let's have a look at City Lodge. Nell is asking about City Lodge. Let's have a look here at the long-term chart. City Lodge. There you are. There's a 40-week moving average in here as well. And now if you look at this chart tells you it's still maybe fast asleep. It is still, you can almost say, relaxing. So for me, this chart needs to break above that little level there, and that is 4 Rand and 86 cents to almost, you can say, get out of sleep and start to go up. Now, if you look at this chart here, above 486 is almost like a Renergen chart. Then you will see that it will break up, and it can easily go a little bit higher. And what I like about it, then this big foundation will tell you that all the buyers that was around there was happy with the stock. But look at this. There's the 40-week moving average, and that's the important one. If it breaks above the 40-week moving average, that's sitting at 5.23. That will tell you that some of the long-term investors are happy with the stock, and they bought it maybe from September last year, and they accumulated it, and they are happy now, and they are sitting on the stock, and they are going to hold on to it. In this 40-week moving average must get into a support. So yes, if you feel like you want to buy some, in actual fact, I prefer these kind of charts nowadays to the Renergens and all the others that had these massive rallies. Because what you see here is, this is what you see is, there's the big fall in the COVID. This is a company that is struggling to find its feet. It's trying to recover, and the share price actually reflects that. That is a healthy chart, although it doesn't go up a lot. That is a more healthy chart than a stock that rallied 40-50% on absolutely nothing, that was driven by liquidity. And sometimes people will say, yes, but the profits will come through in 4 and 5 years and all that. Then I would rather prefer a stock like a City Lodge. But if you want a stop loss, and if you want to buy above that 5.13, that 40-week moving average, I will use that level. There's the level. At 3.76 will be my stop loss. And remember, this is a medium to a long-term view. This is not a short-term view chart, because I think it's going to be a slow mover, because this is a weekly chart. But if it can turn around, I think we can see a beautiful turnaround. Let's have a look here. This stock was on its heyday 170 Rand a share. Let's have a look. On its high in 2018, it was as high as 173 Rand. Beautiful stock then, but now it's got problems with the COVID, and they're trying to recover that. Well, let's have a look at Anglo Platinum. And this is now one of the favorites of the market again. This company is doing wonderfully well. They're printing money. They are in the commodity space. Just look at this rally. I mean, look at that rally. This is now a company that was in January 2020, 460 Rand. Now it is north than 2,000 Rand. It's now at 2,141 Rand. Massive Lampel formation. Let's maybe just have a look, and it was Solly asked about it. Let's just look at it on a daily chart and just see. Because I think you're too late to chase it up for a medium to a long term, Solly, because it had a massive rally. There you are. Solly, what worries me a little bit here is that we've got like a double top here. There's the top. There's another top. And that's around 2,200, 2,238 Rand. And where does this double top come into play? So just be a little bit cautious about that. The double top will only come into play below this line. There you are. It will come into play below 197.64. And if that breaks, it can easily take it down to this. Oh, well, it can actually take it down all the way down to 1,650. So this stock had one massive rally. So, sorry, for me, it's too late to buy unless you are a pure momentum trader. And I mean, this was a year for momentum traders. Every dip, just buy it and make money. For me, the stock must get above 2,256 Rand and 8 cents to give us another push higher. And if we look at the target to the top, it can maybe go the next resistance. If we draw that little line in, and take it to 2,272 Rand if it breaks that high. So there is still a little bit of momentum, but for me, I will be worried about this double top because it had such a massive rally. Well, we'll chat it again. Visit our website www.fransklerk.com for more info.